Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. A few more people might trickle in, but many people are away, so we'll have a smaller group, and we have a really special presentation today. Like I said, we got started a little late because we were having a little reunion with some Access participants and staff who we were all together in San Diego just a few weeks ago, and we're so excited to be back on screen together and see each other and share with all of you a bit about the experience we had for the inaugural JCC Association Maccabi Access Games. So Liv and I will share a quick presentation about the guiding principle that is framing our conversation today. And this is the fifth in our 8-part series on the 8 guiding principles of inclusion. And our theme today is Tzedek, justice. So for those who don't know me, my name is Sierra Weiss. I am the Access and Inclusion Specialist for JCC Association. I have brown curly hair and white skin, and I'm sitting today in our office in New York City, which is the traditional land of the Monsey Lenape. Liv, I'll pass it to you.
Hi, I'm Liv Mendelson. I'm a consultant with the JCCA, and I have short brown hair. I'm wearing an orange shirt today, and I'm joining you from Toronto, from Canada, from the traditional territory of the Mississauga, the Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat. Great to be with you all.
So we just did our introductions, but we have a few more people that we'll introduce right before they speak. We'll have Liv define our principle of justice in just a minute. We have a video from Missy Longman, who's a parent of one of the athletes who participated in Access earlier this month and who is one of the co-chairs for Access next year in Fort Lauderdale. Then a presentation by our very own Debbie Lombard from Fort Lauderdale, who I'm so excited to see on screen. And then a short presentation from our friend Shai, who was an Access participant, who's zooming in all the way from Israel. So very, very happy to see Shai. And then we'll have some time for Q&A. And also we have some other friends from Access who are on screen with us who we will welcome to share any thoughts or anything they want to, if they want to present about their experience as well. And then we'll wrap up. And
tonight, it's fine.
What's that, Shai?
In Israel, it's just 8 p.m. in the night. It's fine.
Okay, so we're not keeping you up too late. That's good. Well, we're very happy you're here. So I will now turn to Liv to review our principle that we're framing our conversation with today, and then we will see the video message from Missy.
Wonderful. And this principle is one of our 8 guiding principles, foundational principles, and is really at the heart of what we are doing in JCCs across the continent and beyond. Tzedek, justice. We view inclusion as the work of Tzedek, justice, rather than tzedakah or charity. Because ableism is intertwined with other systemic barriers, we draw on an intersectional approach in understanding this work. Efforts to remove barriers to full participation are acts of tikkun olam, repair of the world, and we seek to center people with disabilities as contributors and leaders in these endeavors. And I think we really saw that in the Access Games. People with disabilities were absolute leaders and pioneers. And we know that when we remove barriers, we have a richer, fuller community. When everyone's contributing, we have a much more beautiful community and a community of justice. So I'm thrilled to hear more specifically from our participants. But just a reminder, we are aspiring and striving to be communities engaged in work of justice for and with people with disabilities.
Yes, thank you, Liv. And just to frame Access a little bit more, this is the first year this month. It's hard to believe it was this month. It feels like a long time ago already that we were all in San Diego together, but it was the first year of a 3-year pilot of Access. So we're very excited to continue to evolve and grow the program with the feedback of our amazing first 7 athletes and continue to grow that number in the years to come. So for those who are less familiar with Access and are interested in learning more, this is a great opportunity. And you can also reach out to Liv and I for more information about future years. Also, if you want your JCC to participate as well. And I also, before we start the presentation, the meat of the presentation, I also want to give special thanks to 3 CEOs of JCCs who really have been the leaders in making Access happen. Scott Ehrlich at the David Posnack JCC in Fort Lauderdale, Todd Rockoff at the Tucson J, and Betsy Lynch at the Lawrence Family JCC on the Jacobs Family campus in San Diego, where we were earlier this month. Without them, none of this would have happened. And we are just so grateful that they led the way to this first year and the next 2 years that we have and the many more years after that. So thank you to them. They really are amazing. So I'm going to switch over now to video sharing. Oh, and I see Colby in the background over there. So hi, Colby.
Hey, Colby.
And I'm going to share this video from Missy, one of our Access parents. Can everyone see this? Everyone sees Missy? Okay, great. Thanks.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Missy Longman. My daughter Sienna was one of the first 7 Access participants in San Diego at the Maccabi Games this past summer, just a couple weeks ago actually. And I'm really happy to be here to talk about justice and inclusion, and especially as it relates to our experience at the Access Games. And I guess one of the things I would say is that justice as opposed to charity, see inclusion as justice as opposed to charity, is really, you know, rather than just tolerating and accepting even people with disabilities, that we are embracing and really celebrating the value that they bring to our community and their inherent self-worth, and the gifts that they come with, and making sure that we are reducing the barriers that they have to having access, love that word, and I love that that's what it's called, having access to experiences in our community and the connection in our community. And I feel that at the Access Games, you know, our participants were really able to be connected to not only each other, but to the Maccabi Games as a whole, via the opening ceremonies. You know, it was wonderful to see Sienna front and center holding the Fort Lauderdale sign and representing her community along with her fellow Maccabi Game participants. There was a particular event that I thought inclusion was done really exceptionally well. Sienna participated in a swim. It was really a pool run with 3 other Maccabi swim athletes, 3 boys who just jumped right in and really treated her like a team member the moment they joined up with her and provided her with so much encouragement. And they really participated alongside her in the way that inclusion should be. And it was a great experience, not just for her, but one of the mothers of one of the boys reached out to me later and said it was a highlight of their trip. So again, I think it's just the idea of changing our culture to understand that, you know, we are not just doing this, we're not including members who have differing abilities into the community because we feel bad for them. We are including them because they are a valued member of our community, and our community needs them just as much as they need us. And I think that that's really important, and I can't wait to continue to share that message through the Access Games when they come to Fort Lauderdale next year in 2023, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for having me, Sierra. Bye.
Wow. So sad Missy couldn't be here to share even more, but this was a beautiful example of how inclusion really happened at Access. And this was one of the 4 athletic programs that we had during Access. It was swimming and bowling and soccer and basketball. And there was a variety of different formats to those programs. And the swim meet was one of our unified programs where Maccabi swimmers joined with our Access athletes and competed together and medaled together. And it was really just a special moment of collaboration, and lots of the parents were there as well to witness this. So it was really an incredible experience. And I know it meant a lot to Sienna to get to be in the pool and to meet other athletes. So it was a pleasure to have Missy virtually in that way, and excited now to pass it to Debbie from Fort Lauderdale, who will share more from her perspective. So Debbie, you can take yourself off mute and I'll get your PowerPoint up.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I also want to introduce Lori Green. She's in the room with us today, and she was our Maccabi chair, and she handled it, organizer, the whole thing. And I think Lee is in there with you, Lori, is he not? Is he there? I can't see. So anyways, well, I'm Debbie Lombard. I'm the director of Gibborim United here at David Posnick JCC in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And the Gibborim program, just to let you know, is a program for children, teens, and adults and seniors with developmental disabilities. We have a day program, an afternoon enrichment program. We have weekend programs, plus we do socials. We have a gift shop that sells gifts that are made by those with special needs. And that's just a small amount. But what I was here to talk to you about today was the Access Games. Just to let you know, I have never been to a Maccabi game. I had actually done a short little bit back when I was teaching theater with the Exceptional Theater Company as their director and founder. We did a cultural part in 2015 with David Posnick JCC. It was fabulous. We had the most wonderful time, but that was my biggest exposure to Maccabi. So coming out to San Diego was a way to learn and to experience. Never, ever in my life did I think I would walk away with the lessons, the experiences, the joy, the success, just the sheer moment of just elation of watching how we all came together, how we removed those barriers, how I saw the seven athletes of the Access Games were our pioneers. They were the first to do this. So you can click it. And so what Sierra asked me to do was to talk about, and you can click to the next one, Sierra, if you can, great, was to talk about, the Access Games and the ability, and also our experiences, and about inclusion. So what I've done is I did this, and please, Lori, chime in at any time if you'd like, but I looked up the definition of access, and it is to have the ability to enter. And being that this is the first time, and the pilot was that those with developmental disabilities, the teens, were able to enter into the Access Games, into the Maccabi Games, was huge. The excitement that was felt. I can tell you that Sienna had never flown so far in her whole life. And many of us were apprehensive about that flight for her. Was it going to be a positive? Many parents actually pulled back thinking, this is something I don't think my child can do. I know Missy was apprehensive, and yet they got on that plane, and the excitement that Sienna felt coming across from one side of the country to the other. And when she landed, the first thing she did was she looked at her mother and she said, I did it. And then the next thing she said was, I did it. So it was like in her heart, she was telling her mom, I did it. Like, here we go. I did it. But it was, I did it. And from that second on, that's what the Access Games and the Maccabi Games created. It was the ability to enter into those successes and that excitement about what I can do. And we can go to the next slide, please. This is the definition of experience. And the experience was for participation in the events. And this is a definition right out of the dictionary. So they're not talking about our events, but our events were huge. We went bowling, we did soccer, we did basketball, we did swimming, we had Israeli lessons and lunch together and meet and greets, and we experienced flying over, coming in, going to the J and being in the parking lot while all the athletes come in, and then coming into the J and sitting together and going to the hotels and eating breakfast together. It was not just about the games. It was about life in general. We opened up not only the Maccabi games to the Access experience, we opened up all of San Diego, because we went to we were in the hotels, and now they were experiencing, even those who were serving us breakfast got to experience us in these events. So there was more than one event in this. And I just want to make sure I'm talking about what we did. Oh, and the friendships, the experience of the friendships. I'm sure Shay and Kobe could tell you about all of those experiences of meeting people, and how many people you met, and how warm everybody was together, and the difference that we made, and the confidence that it brought to all of us, to everyone, the typical teens and those with developmental disabilities. Now we can go to the next one. There's something in the middle there, Sierra, that I'm not sure what that is, like a box. There it is. So the importance. I think I explained a lot of what the importance is, and the definition of that is being of great significance. This was of great significance. This reminds me of Israel, and I get choked up, I apologize. This was the start of something that it will change people's lives forever. And personally, it meant so much to me to be part of this, to be the first. And guys, the 7 athletes that were part of this truly made a difference in those games. And the importance of to the opening ceremonies, and being out there with everybody and walking together and experiencing and having the ups and the downs. Okay, we had moments at the bowling alley that there were some, some meltdowns and some breakdowns and some upsets, but that's the lesson that we learn, and we move from that and we grow. So that's the next one. Go to the next one. And then of course you guys can ask me questions. Motivate. I can tell you that not only were we motivated, and if you see, these are the people that motivated us, Liv and Sierra. I had some pictures, I don't know where they are, but you didn't make this one, but you were huge in the motivation. But what motivated most everybody was the 7 athletes and how they pushed through. And no matter what, at one point, I want to read this. Missy and I gave a presentation the other day, and she read this as part of her speech, and I thought it was important because she was concerned. Was Sienna going to get up and do some of these sports? She's not like the biggest athlete. And so this is what she wrote. Sienna is not someone who loves sports. She doesn't care for sweating or running or heat or anything that involves a lot of exertion. Soccer skills was scheduled for the first day of the Access game. Dan and I were watching from afar, as we often have to do because our presence sometimes makes her not want to try new things. I saw her sitting in the grass before they got started, and I commented to him that I was worried she might refuse to participate. Almost as soon as the words came out, Sienna stood up, dribbled the ball, and kicked it into the net. As she walked back to her place, she casually fist bumped everyone who was cheering for her like no big deal. I got this, she said. I got tears in my eyes immediately. This experience significantly enhanced Sienna's self-confidence and independence. And that's how the games motivate. That's what it does. Just watching everybody out there and being part of this and being included with the just made it all a huge motivation for all of us. And the heat and everything was fine because San Diego has gorgeous weather. So does Fort Lauderdale, not too bad. Our next slide. And then Sierra asked me to talk about fostering inclusion. And what I looked up was the opportunity to learn and to allow people to show up authentically. And I think that's what it allowed us. I'm going to step back to that bowling alley and we'll talk about the lessons that we learned there. There were few team participants from the Maccabi games. And I think that several of them had never, ever been with a person who had a developmental disability or special needs. And they didn't know what to do or how to act. Not that you have to act different, not that it makes a difference, but they didn't know that. And that was part of their being authentic. We allowed them to be who they were and accepted it and worked through it, which was a good thing. And then you had that story that Missy told you about the 3 boys in the pool who got a Minot award. We gave them all 3 a Minot award because they literally jumped immediately to Sienna without ever meeting her. We got this, Sienna. We're a team. We're going to win this. We're going for the goal. And they worked so hard. And Sienna, who really doesn't really love to be there, she likes to play in the water, but actually work in the water, no. She did it and she got a bronze. So this is just a bit of it. And I know, Shay, you got the gold. And Kobe, I'm not sure what you got, but I think you got honorable mention, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe Sienna did, or you got the bronze. I can't remember, so forgive me. But it was so exciting to watch everybody working together. What was it, Shay? What did you get?
Copy to the best basketball.
The best was basketball. Yes, Kobe got the best in basketball. And that was incredible. I wish we had the video of that to show, because that, when he made from, what was it, half of the court, he made it right into the basket. It was incredible. The whole place went wild. Well, it's called something in basketball, like a quarter, what his dad will tell us. Anyways, go to the next one. Thank you. The next slide is, there you go. And this is just about our ideas, because Sierra asked just to talk about the ideas that we had. And, for us, for next year, for 2023, we're looking at all of the lessons that we learned, incredibly good ones.
All right.
Oh, you got it? Can you see it? I don't see it. Maybe if we take the PowerPoint off.
I'll show it. I'll let you finish up and then I'll show it.
Okay, this will be quick. So basically, this is just showing you a little bit of what we did, and being out there in the opening ceremonies and getting the awards, going to SeaWorld, having lunch together. If you can look in the back, there's the 3 swimmers. And then of course our access team from Fort Lauderdale. And our ideas are just possibly to work on sending out the drills to our other participants and the other J's, so that they can practice throughout the year. I know we're planning on working with our cheerleading team here to have our cheerleaders out there, because we've got a cheerleading team with Gibberim, and we've got lots of good things, our orientation for our volunteers and for the for the Maccabi athletes to be involved with those with access, and of course, our meet and greets and everything. But I'll be calling you guys like crazy for lots of information, and then you can hit the next slide, because I want you to see that basketball shoot. So this is when we are hosting next year our Fort Lauderdale Maccabi and Access Games. August 6th to, that's wrong, it's not August 8th, I believe it's August 11th, sorry. The Access Games are August 8th. And then, so this is part of us, and if you can see, we've got next. So this is down at the bottom is our co-chairs. Up at the top is Scott Ehrlich, who is just the greatest CEO of all times. And then of course you've got the the Access team, and Anna Ehrlich, who will be running the Maccabi Access games next year. So, and then the next one, I think is just, we got it. We got next. I think. Oh, it just tells you what we're going to be doing and all of our, program that we're going to be giving you. It's very similar, but I can tell you it is an experience. And we're looking this year, we had 7 to begin with, and we're looking to have 50 Access athletes in 2023. So, okay. And my watch is talking. And we got next. And then if you want to find out more information, go to our website, please. And please join us.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Hope it
Debbie.
wasn't too long.
No, that was perfect. And I just your enthusiasm and the sharing of those stories from Sienna and from your experience. It brings me back, and it made me so happy. And I hope those who weren't there at Access now have a better sense of what the experience was like. And we're so excited to continue and be in Fort Lauderdale next year with their amazing team. I do have Colby's shot, his half court shot queued, but I'm actually I want to keep everyone engaged. So we're going to wait a little while longer to actually show it. I hope that's okay, Colby, because don't worry, we're going to show it. We're going to show it. But I first want to introduce one of your fellow athletes, Shai, who's joining us from Israel, to share a bit more about his experience as well. Shai was one of 2 athletes who came all the way from Israel, from San Diego's sister city, to participate in Access. And Shai, I'm just going to say a few words about how amazing you are before I let you talk about yourself, because Shai really went above and beyond to make everyone feel so celebrated and cared for during our time in San Diego. He was always the first to congratulate his fellow athletes whenever anyone won a medal or finished an activity. And beyond that, was just so incredibly kind to everyone he interacted with, from those who were in Access and Maccabi more generally, but even the staff who was helping serve meals and the police officers who were keeping us safe. Shai went out of his way to make sure that everyone was getting attention, asking how their day was. And I feel personally like I learned so much from him and the way he interacts with the world. And I just feel so honored to know him, and so glad that all of you will get an opportunity to hear from him and his experience. So Shai, I'll let you share whatever you want to share. And also I can ask you some questions if you want when you're done, so we can get more information about your experience, but I'll let you take the floor.
Okay. Well, don't remember me or don't know me, my name is Shai. I am living in Israel in Kibbutz Baruch Hai in Sha'ar HaNegev. When I go to San Diego, I don't know what it's gonna be. That's my first time I ever fly. And when I go to the hotel, that after a long flight, the couch and the bed was so good. And when the company is ready, I was so excited to meet everybody. And I know and nobody is favorite. For me, I love everyone in the same thing. And this competition and everything we do together in group or along, it was very excellent to me. I'm growing up to this, and I do so many things I didn't know I do never in my life. So get Ubers, speaks so much English. Portuguese I speak too, but English is very something I learn in school and in TV shows. So it's not like I do this every day. Wait, I just off my phone. Sorry. and that was my job. Um, and I very love this and everything. And if you run one question, you can ask me now.
Okay, I'll ask you, Shai, a few questions, and if anyone else on the call wants to ask you anything, they raise your hand or put it in the chat. So can you tell us more about what your experience of Access was like, the competition, the sports, meeting new people? What was that like for you?
I am joining everything, so I don't know what I more like, but I think I go to the soccer and the swimming. That's more I very like.
Yeah, those are your, I see Liv's raising her hand. Liv, you can go ahead.
I know you have lots of questions too, Sierra. Shai, it's so good to see you again, and I could talk with you all day. When we had our first dinner, when everyone was meeting everyone at the hotel, and we learned a bit about each of you, one of the things that was really moving for so many people, and literally there were tears in eyes of many people, is on your slide you put that you're really proud to be someone with autism, and that you're really proud of all your gifts and what you contribute. And I'm wondering how that felt for you. There it is. You're proud of yourself because all of the good you do in every day, and we all got to see that. And I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about how that felt at the games for you, to be someone who came in proud of himself and then really had the opportunity to show everyone what that meant. Do you want me to rephrase it, Chai?
You want to say what I doing in my kibbutz or in the San Diego?
In San Diego, what were you most proud of your many accomplishments in San Diego?
I think proud when I speak good English. I don't expect when I speak English very good. I just say the word and it's come for to my mouth.
You were indispensable. You were one of our key translators. Amazing, amazing. Talk about the gifts that people bring. That was definitely a gift you gave us, bringing the group together, helping us communicate.
Thank you.
Sarah, back to you.
Thanks, Liv. Shai, why you traveled very, very far to come to San Diego. So I want to ask you, why did it feel important to you to come to participate in Access?
In my school, we talk about the autism. This is school about autism. Everything in the students is ever something like autism or something like this. And when something in Israel go to 18 or 21, you go to the IDF. And now you have a project in Hebrew, we say תתקדמו. In English is going up, and it's mean our people autism can go to the IDF like every people, not do something like no one want to do. So I love to do everything, and I know it's shy to say I have autism. It's fine to me.
Mm-hmm. Can you share with everyone a bit more? It's on the screen why you're proud of your autism and who you are?
Okay. I don't know ever in my life I have autism. It's got me when I was 9 years old. And in the first time, I think it is a curse, but when I grow up in 15 and 14 and now I'm 17, and I know it's not a curse, it's a miracle. I can see in glasses, but very good. I can hear so many good and no hear anything. If now have any voice, I can hear beep 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 or something like this. So it's complicated, but I proud because now it makes me different but special too.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll ask you one last question, Shai. So I don't know if you just saw, but Debbie put in her presentation, the age range for access next year is increasing to 18. So does that mean we'll get to see you next year in Fort Lauderdale?
I wish to, but but like I say, next year I'm gonna be 18 in March 20 actually.
Okay, well, now up to 18 you can join. So I know Debbie's rooting for you to come, and we all hope to see you again next year, and hopefully sooner than that.
If you want, if I can do, I do this, you know. But I'm pretty sure it's possible.
Amazing. Well, Shai, thank you so much for sharing about your experience with everyone. It is so great to see you on screen and hear your voice. We miss you very much, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Shai, were your dogs happy to see you?
Yes, my dog jump on me and kiss me every I go.
Amazing. Okay, well, I'm gonna Shai now pass it. I'm gonna first show the clip that we've all been waiting for of Colby's incredible half-court shot during our basketball sports experience, and then Berman family, I will give you the floor if you want to share anything about your experience. So let me pull this up. Oh my goodness, for some reason it's upside down. I don't know what to do about that. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can play it.
Colby could do it upside down. I believe it.
Okay, I'm gonna share it.
Colby, good job. Woo! That is
Did everyone see that?
Can we see it
Incredible
again?
shot. You want to see it again? Okay, we can show it. We can show it one more time.
all right. Colby, good job. Woo! That is bananas.
Okay, so needless to say, we're bringing Colby back next year to coach the basketball tournament. And he's going to teach us all how to make incredible half-court shots. But it really was such a pleasure to have you guys, the Berman family, there. And Colby, you were also such an incredible teammate and had incredible sportsmanship with all of your fellow athletes. So I see, Paul, that you're already unmuted. So
Yeah, the first thing I need to say is, I don't know if you guys watched that video. Colby's made us watch it like 3,800 times. But the first thing I have to say is he clearly owes Annie a high five. If you watch the video, he clearly misses the high five of the person who is recording that. So that was not cool, Colby Berman. Not cool. It was, I mean, from the outset, like we felt so welcomed. We felt so important, like for us, for everything that Colby goes through, and a lot of families that have, you know, I don't want to say similar situations, because when we talk about disabilities, everybody's situation is so different. But the way that San Diego embraced us, you know, Nate in particular, all of San Diego, but you and Nate, this trip, it started a little earlier for Colby, and I think I told you this, Sierra, and if I didn't, then I hope this doesn't come out wrong, but like, I didn't have expectations for Maccabi. I've been through Maccabi with my older kids. Colby participated, and this, to me, the Maccabi access was a part of this great trip that we were going to get to go on. That started, you know, a couple days before Colby got to do Disneyland. I learned a lot about Colby this trip. He loves roller coasters. I really didn't know. I knew he liked roller coasters, but the kid loves roller coasters. And then also, guys, beware that there's a roller coaster at Disneyland that goes upside down. that if you get stuck on, you're kind of just there. So Colby liked that. About halfway through the roller coaster, I didn't. But like, man, the access experience, first of all, when I met Shy for the first time, I thought he was just there. He's so personable. He's so friendly. And I look forward to seeing him every day. It's like we met a friend. So it's so good to see you again, Shy, and it'd be great to come out. And yes, he is a clear ambassador of this program. Shy is an amazing kid. It was our pleasure to get to know you, Shy. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your time there. I hope you shared some of the French fries. And I hope your travel was back. And it's good to see your smile, man. You were a lot of fun to get to meet, and all the families, having a little bit something different. This is with 7 kids, so it was intimate. We got to know everybody. As far as my only regret from Maccabi is that Colby had a little bit of a rough morning, the morning of the swimming, so he was all ready to go. And that seemed like an incredible event. I mean, we were there and Colby caught the end of it, but he didn't get to go in the pool, and that seemed amazing. But like, to me, one of the things that I got out of it the most was the pure enjoyment that the athletes had of their interaction with the access athletes. To me, it was so natural and unrehearsed and so rewarding to see these kids who, maybe are like somebody said before, don't know how to react with kids who have, different abilities than whatever the perception of a normal kid is. To me, it was so natural when Colby was bowling, or or the soccer kids, when some of the flag football kids came over. The swimming looked incredible from afar, and then basketball Colby really enjoyed, and then the interaction with everybody. It was such an amazing experience that went from being a part of my trip to the clear highlight of my trip. And it was a great trip. It was, for Jody and I, that's a big deal. That's a big trip. We don't get on those very often. And we certainly are appreciative that Colby is going to have the opportunity to participate next year, and hope that I hope that Jody gets invited. For those of you who don't know, Jody was banned from the Maccabi games temporarily for an incident. So hopefully she gets that removed and she's able to join us again. That was a joke. I'm sorry. But I want to thank everybody. I mean, everybody. San Diego's so welcoming. Everybody there, everybody we got to meet. It was just so natural and so fulfilling. I guess that's the word. I felt very fulfilled after those. And it was only a few days, but it felt like it was like we knew everybody there for a while. I felt so good about what everybody did. Everybody that was a part of this should feel really, really, really good about what you did as the leaders, as the pioneers of this. And it's only going to grow. I heard Fort Lauderdale shooting for 50. That they wouldn't have had 50 if you guys didn't have 7. So thank you. That's the people who know me know that I could just keep blabbing and blabbing all day. And they also know that I don't like Colby very much. So like, I'm going to stop talking about him and let him maybe say a quick hello and then let you guys go on. But thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It was an amazing experience.
Thank you, Paul. And
Bye.
hi, Colby. Colby and Jody, do you want to add anything about your experience?
Awesome.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Ditto.
Yes, well, you were awesome. And I can't wait for next year to see you. I'm sure even in a year, your basketball skills will somehow improve even more. And also for those on the call who don't know, that clip of Colby shooting the half court shot, not only has it been shared all over our different Access WhatsApp groups, but it also made it onto local news in San Diego. So everyone is getting to see it and is very jealous of Colby's basketball skills. So thank you all.
It also followed two 3-pointer swishes. Followed that, so it was 3 shots in a row.
Seriously, it was.
Just to point it out.
Colby, we don't need to ask you what your favorite moment was. I think we all know, but what was your second favorite moment? What else did you enjoy?
All of it.
All of it. Amazing.
I have a question for Colby and Shai. Why aren't you wearing your medals?
I didn't want to wear them until someone came over.
You're on camera. I don't understand.
It's too much weight to be lugging around. They've got so many medals between these two.
Can I just add that the Access Games and the whole games was reported in Israel on one of the big digital sports sites. So just yesterday, there was a big write-up, and that was quite amazing.
Very
And
nice.
Shai will be able to read it in Hebrew, but anyone else will be happily send you a copy.
Shai can translate it for everybody.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You want-
What's that, Shai?
You want just a second? I can give you my number if you want.
Sarah sent it to me, so I'll send it over to you, Shai, to translate for the rest of us. Before I turn it over to audience questions, I just want to give the floor to Nate Stein for just a few minutes. Nate was our incredible partner on the ground in San Diego. This could not have happened without him and his entire family, who really, I think the entirety of JCC Maccabi could not have happened without the Stein family. We're so appreciative of everything that you put in to make this happen. And so happy to see you on screen. So just wanted to give you the opportunity to share whatever you would like.
Thank you. It was an incredible experience for me and my family as well. Listen, everyone, what I was going to say has been said, but just wanted to point out, I was not worried about Access being successful for the Access athletes going into it. I knew that those who were going to come were going to have fun. I knew that if they were going to come, they were going to have the right mentality to have fun. That they were not, these individuals, not knowing who they were not going to make the trip if they weren't going to come into it and have fun. I didn't know they were going to participate in every activity that they did, because they jumped in with everything, which surprised me. I'm glad that everyone did, but I knew they would have fun, and I wasn't worried about that. What I was worried about was the other athletes, the Maccabi athletes. I was worried about if they were going to jump in with the same gusto. We've done inclusion at our J's for close to 30 years. And as I've said, when I met with the delegation heads on the Friday before the game started, we've done it incredibly well. And we're the leaders in the country in inclusion. And we're teaching the world how to be inclusive. But when we do inclusion at our J's, it's many times gradual over a summer. And at camps, our kids have an opportunity to get to know each other and take time in getting to know each other. At Maccabi, it was instantaneous. We didn't have time to get to know each other. It was, here, you're on a team together. Here, you're bowling together, do it. We didn't have time to introduce each other. We didn't have time to get to know games. We didn't have time to introduce each other. It was, here, you're on lane 4, bowl. And there were some girls who were in bowling that were not happy with me because I didn't let them bowl together in their delegation. I purposely split them up because I didn't want them to bowl together. I wanted them split up. And in the first few whatever it's called, throws, whatever, it wasn't comfortable. And it took time for them to get to know each other. But as you watched them, they slowly got to work together as a team. And you could see them slowly starting to help each other out. and you could see them slowly cheering each other on. And towards the end of the frames and towards the end of it, they were cheering each other on, they were supporting each other, they were pulling together, they were actually acting like a team. And that was what I was hoping for the entire time. I was worried about the Maccabi athletes getting into the whole access philosophy. And then with the swimming, which you guys have said numerous times, that didn't take long at all. And what I liked the best about the swimming was not the swimming athletes who got into the water and did it. If you watched all the other athletes, so one thing that Grace, who ran the swimming part of it, said to me was the swimmers were fighting who got to go in the water. Everyone wanted to do it. It wasn't who had to. Every single swimmer wanted to do it. And so she had to pick, and they were only allowed to do one. And so she had to pick who got to go in. The swimmers who didn't get to do it were in the water on the sides cheering everyone else on. So that to me was a highlight, that they got it right away. So it was Maccabi athletes that I got worried about. So that truly was, so this whole thing is about it. The session is about inclusion. That was the true thing about inclusion. I now got a call. I've been waiting for. I got to grab. I'm sorry. It's great seeing you all. I will talk to you all later. But I got to grab this.
Thanks, Nate.
And with that, I'll also conclude our time together. But I just want to say a huge thank you to our presenters and to everyone who shared about their experiences. This was such an incredible first year. Not every pilot program goes well in its first year, and there were definitely obstacles and barriers to this year's numbers, but I think Betsy said this to me at the end of our closing ceremonies, we ended up with exactly the number we needed and exactly the athletes we needed to make this first year a success, and that could not have been more true. And I hope with this presentation and more that we'll continue to share about access in the coming weeks and months, everyone, even those who were not there in person, will start to get a sense of how truly special and impactful this first year of access was. And we are just so excited to continue with our pilot next year in Fort Lauderdale and the following year after that, and then move this beyond the pilot phase and continue for many years to come. So we thank you all for joining us today, and to everyone who helped make this first year happen. I feel very fortunate to know all of you and work with all of you. And I can't wait to hopefully see all of our 7 athletes and many more together next year in Fort Lauderdale. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful. And thank you, Sierra and Liv, for all that you do. Really, truly, we appreciate it. So it was good to see you, Shai. Good to see you, Coach.
All night.
Go to sleep.
Bye, Shai.
Lila Tov, Shai.
Lala Tov.